Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they're still waiting for life to change before they believe it already has. Let me tell you something. You're not meant to wait for a sign. You're not meant to chase, to force, or to beg. You're meant to assume, with quiet power, that what you desire is already yours. This is the law of assumption, and it is one of the most misunderstood laws in the world. You think you need to be positive all the time. You think you need to repeat affirmations perfectly or visualize every detail. But let me ask you this. Have you really assumed it's yours? Have you stepped into the version of you that already has it? Most people don't. They hope. They wish. They try. But assumption isn't trying. It's knowing. There's a difference between wanting something and embodying the person who already has it. And that difference? That's where the power is. That's where reality bends. The law of assumption works fast because it bypasses doubt. You are no longer asking for it. You're living as if it's already true. And here's the secret most people miss. Your subconscious mind doesn't argue with you. It doesn't ask questions. It only responds to what you assume is fact. So if you assume you are successful, it aligns. If you assume you are loved, it aligns. If you assume life is working for you, it aligns. But if you assume struggle, rejection, lack, guess what? That aligns too. Your life is not responding to what you want. It is responding to what you expect. This is not wishful thinking. This is spiritual law, and it works for everyone, whether you believe in it or not. So if you're tired of waiting, if you're tired of working so hard with so little return, it's time to stop doing so much and start being what you desire. Assume it, live it, and let reality catch up to the version of you that already knows. It's done. You don't get what you want. You get what you believe. Read that again. The universe is not listening to your desperation. It's listening to your certainty. And most people, even when they say they want something, carry the energy of someone who doesn't believe it's possible. That energy speaks louder than words. You can say, I am wealthy 100 times a day. But if your heart whispers, but I'm broke, then that whisper becomes your truth. That whisper becomes the vibration that shapes your world. This is why most affirmations don't work. Because they're said from a place of lack, not from a place of power. You are pretending to believe instead of assuming it as already done. The law of assumption is not about pretending. It's about conviction. It's walking into the room with nothing in your hands, but with the presence of someone who already has everything they came for. It's sitting in silence, knowing the answer is already on its way. It's waking up with peace, not panic, because you've decided that what you desire is already moving towards you. Or better yet, it's already yours. This is not about fooling yourself. It's about training yourself, training your nervous system, your thoughts, your breath, to live from the end, to live from the vision, to let that vision feel more real than the fear. And yes, it takes practice. It takes discipline, because your old patterns will try to pull you back. Your doubts will scream. Your logic will resist. But you don't need logic to manifest. You need faith. You need assumption so strong that even when nothing is happening outside, you're still calm because you already know how it ends. You don't have to convince anyone. You don't need proof. You only need alignment. The law of assumption works fast when you stop waiting for signs. and become the sign. The reason most people stay stuck is because they're still waiting to feel different before they act differently. But the change doesn't come after you get the thing. It comes before. You don't become confident after success. You become successful because you decided to be confident. You don't become wealthy after the money arrives. You become wealthy because you carried the energy of someone who already was. This is the power of assumption. And most people miss it because they're still addicted to evidence. They want proof before peace. They want results before belief. But life doesn't work like that. Your subconscious is listening to your identity, not your intentions. And identity is not built through words. It's built through being. So, who are you being today? Are you being the person who knows they are chosen? Who knows they are loved, guided, supported, even when the world is silent? Or are you still walking around like someone who's unsure? Unsure if it's working. Unsure if it's meant for you. That energy of hesitation, it delays everything. And I say this with love, because you are powerful. You are creating every second of your reality through the assumptions you carry. Assume that life is working in your favor. Assume that what you want is already yours. Assume that you are not behind, not late, not lost. When you do that, your frequency shifts, your posture shifts, and the universe responds quickly and precisely because it no longer sees you as someone asking. It sees you as someone aligned. Don't wait for life to give you permission. Give yourself the permission now. Feel it in your body. Breathe it in. Stand like it's already done. Move like it's already yours. Speak like someone who knows. And everything around you will begin to rearrange, not by force, but by law. Let me tell you the truth no one wants to hear. Your current reality is not the result of bad luck. It is the result of assumptions you've repeated, quietly, over and over again. You assumed you were not enough. You assumed life had to be hard. You assumed love was painful. You assumed your dreams were unrealistic. And so, they became real. Because assumption is not about what you say out loud. It's about what you carry in silence, what you expect when no one is watching, what you believe in the middle of the night, when doubt creeps in and your mind goes quiet. That's when your truth speaks. And if you keep rehearsing disappointment, you'll keep attracting it. If you keep assuming you'll be left behind, life will prove you right. But here's the good news. That same law can work for you. Right now. Starting today. If you start assuming beauty, assuming love, assuming success, clarity, peace, life will begin to shape itself around that energy. You don't need to earn it. You only need to claim it. But to claim it, you must let go of the identity that feels safe in struggle. Somewhere along the way, you got used to disappointment. You learned how to survive without hope. And now, the idea of ease feels foreign. The idea of joy feels unrealistic. The idea of receiving what you want feels scary. But don't you see? That fear is proof that you're close. It means you're stepping out of the old self, the self that was addicted to effort, to chasing, to proving. You don't have to chase anymore. You don't have to beg. You don't have to exhaust yourself for scraps of joy. You only have to decide. Assume it's yours. And let life match your energy, not your need, not your desire, but your decision. You want to change your life? Then you have to start where no one else can see. You have to change what you assume when you wake up in the morning, what you assume when you look in the mirror, what you assume when things don't go your way, because that's where your future begins. In those quiet moments, in those small choices of belief. Start with this. Stop rehearsing the worst-case scenario. Stop assuming you'll fail before you try. Stop bracing for disappointment. That is not protection. That is programming. You're not protecting yourself from pain. You're creating it in advance, and you don't need to do that anymore. Instead, rehearse peace. Rehearse alignment. Rehearse the version of you that already made it. What would that version of you say? How would they walk? What would they believe? Step into that, even if it feels unfamiliar, especially if it feels unfamiliar, because that's how you know it's working. You are not here to live in loops. You are here to rise into a new identity, built not on fear, but on faith, built on vision, built on knowing. And yes, the old self will resist. It will scream for comfort. It will beg you to go back. But you are stronger now. You have seen too much, felt too much, grown too much to shrink again. So breathe, lift your head, and say to yourself, I no longer wait for change. I assume the change is done, and I act from the version of me who already received it. That's the shift. That's the law of assumption. And once you feel it, once you really live it, life has no choice but to catch up. If you remember nothing else from this message, remember this. You are not here to wish for a better life. You are here to assume it, to wear it like a truth so deep, no one can take it from you, not even your past. You don't need more proof. You don't need more time. You don't need anyone else to believe in you. You only need to assume, with quiet power, that it is already done. And when the fear returns, as it always will, you breathe through it. You ground yourself in truth. You look around and whisper, this might be what I see, but it's not what I believe. And that belief is everything. Because when you hold the assumption with love, with strength, with trust, you activate the most sacred force there is, the divine law that responds to your soul, not your circumstances. You are not waiting for your life to begin. It already has. Right here, right now. So rise like the version of you who already won. Speak like the version who no longer doubts. Love like the version who already received everything they prayed for. Assume it. Become it. And let the world adjust. Because when you move in faith, with no hesitation, no apology, you remind life exactly who you are. A creator. A mirror of the divine. A soul who decided. And that decision is more powerful than anything standing in your way. Now, if this message spoke to something deep in you, leave a comment below and write, I assume it is done. Let it be your declaration. Let it be your anchor. And then walk forward as if heaven is already unfolding beneath your feet, because it is. And if you felt the truth in these words, subscribe to the channel. This space was created for you to remind you of who you really are. You'll find more messages like this one, and together we rise.